Hello everyone, welcome to Secrets. My name is Rabbi Abe and I have a very important secret to share with you today about how to increase your capacity for money, for sustenance. Now, the first idea that we must establish is there is no limitation of sustenance. Just as there's no limit to the atoms in the atmosphere, in everything, there's no limit to energy. Quick example. If you're playing a game of golf, I use golf as an example. And if you know the game, the best thing that can possibly happen to you playing golf is you get a hole in one. In one stroke, you get the ball in the cup. Now, how does a person feel when they do that? So ask 10 people, they may tell you 10 different things. If someone just started playing golf and has no background, doesn't, know much about the game, but beginner's luck, came and they got the hole in one, I'm sure they're going to feel good. But someone who's been playing for 20 years, investing a lot of time and energy and effort in playing that game, is certainly going to feel much different if they get a hole in one, especially if they never played before. So two people did the exact same thing, but received a different amount of energy as a result of what they did. Okay? Now that's true in everything because, there's always going to be someone who can feel more and feel more and feel more. So there's no limitation on the energy itself, but rather our capacity to receive that. Now that is true in money. So we call money sustenance. There's many different levels of sustenance. Money is, of course, one of them. Spiritual energy is another level of sustenance. Sustenance means that which sustains us. It's our nourishment. Love can also be a sustenance. Support can be a sustenance. Whatever sustains us in life is a form of sustenance. Again, so the first rule is there is no limitation on sustenance. The limit of what we are able to receive is determined by who? By us, by our capacity to receive it. Now, what determines our capacity and how do we raise our capacity or expand that capacity to be able to receive more? That's the question. So let's think about it for a moment. And I'll give you an analogy. Let's say you're very hungry, but you're far from home. Now, at home, there's a big, nutritious, sustaining meal waiting for you at home. But, you have a journey to go through, and you're so hungry to eat that on the way, you stop, you grab a soda. Then you grab a bag of chips, maybe some pretzels, maybe some cupcakes. Now, by the time you get home, you see where I'm going, you're not that hungry anymore, and you can only fit so much of that nutritious food into your belly. The analogy here relates to our capacity to receive. When we fill it with things that are not the best for us, then it lessens our capacity to receive what is good for us. So, if we want to, so let's say we're beginning a business, okay? And the beginning of any business is probably the most difficult, especially if you're lacking funding for your business or you need money right now. So you're sort of happy with whatever comes in. Now, I don't want to say we become satisfied, but in a way we do. So let's say you have a client, the client pays you, and you look at the check and you say, wow, this is great. Well, And don't get me wrong over here. I'm not saying not to be appreciative for the client and for, that bit of income that came in. But here's the trick. We can call it a rule. To the degree that this fills me is to the degree that I will not be able to receive more. In other words, however much this fills me, and really where are we getting filled? It's not physical food, but it's consciousness food. Any form of energy is food for our consciousness. So if we become satisfied in that moment, we lessen our ability and our capacity to be able to receive. We lowered our thermostat, if you will. And the object of the game is not to lower the thermostat, but to raise the thermostat, so to speak, so to expand ourselves to be able to receive more. Now that's not such an easy task to do. This is the trick of the ancient Kabbalists. This is a secret of how to maintain our capacity to receive more. If it's more money, if it's more nourishment of any sort, any form of energy, when it comes in, when a deal comes in, don't allow it to satisfy you. Now, please, there's a very, very fine line between appreciation and satisfaction. It says in the Psalms, King David wrote, praiseworthy is the one who is happy with his portion. Ashrei Adam samech bechelko. Person, if he's happy with his portion, he's praiseworthy. What does that mean? Now, a lot of people mistake this to mean, be happy with whatever you have. Now, I'm not saying no. We should be appreciative, absolutely. In fact, appreciation is another one of the tools to expand ourselves when we have real appreciation. And I'm going beyond thank you. Okay, thank you is not necessarily an appreciation, but satisfaction in that moment doesn't belong in the equation. In other words, I should appreciate and want even more at the same time. Again, difficult to do. Because let's say I have a need for X. I need to pay a food bill, a small food bill, a small electric bill, or whatever. And whatever came in is enough to pay those bills. I'm happy. Well, why should I receive anything more? You see, receiving is directly connected to the principle of need. So when I truly need, the nourishment will come. Now, I don't want to go into where the origin of the nourishment comes from, when this, destiny was already chosen. Not going into that. What I'm conveying here is the secret of not shutting ourselves down, but rather at least maintaining our capacity. And if we're fortunate enough to be able to truly expand ourselves, because it's a little bit like saying, so no matter how much you eat, you still stay hungry. Now, that's not easy to do, okay? Especially if your focus is on a financial sustenance. Because not everybody works only for financial sustenance. There are other things that people work for. We work for achievement. We work for accomplishment of certain goals that we have in our life that are beyond money. And then sometimes money is just the effect. In fact, the most successful people are looking to achieve something greater than themselves, whatever it might be, and money is often the result. So that's a blessing when a person can do that and is able to do that. But for the average person like us who are, working, maybe we're working to pay our bills and working for a little security, and, we need responsibilities, whatever responsibilities that we have. So it's harder not to become fulfilled when our need is met. It's difficult to maintain the hunger after I've received what I ate. After all, if I already ate a slice of pizza and I can't handle 2 slices, it'll make me sick. Well, that's the key. You see, in emotional situations, we can potentially have an endless capacity, potentially, certainly more than whatever we've received. But emotional needs can be also satisfied much more quickly, and therefore we lose our craving to draw that light in. So again, the trick is, again, when we receive, we have to psych ourselves into the idea that I appreciate, but actually I receive nothing. Again, we have to play both parts. We have to be appreciative for what we've received, and at the same time, don't feel that you've received. In other words, but I'm still hungry. I haven't eaten. Again, not easy to do, but it is the great secret of maintaining our capacity to continue to receive more, potentially endlessly. And there are people like that. They have an endless capacity for more, no matter how much they eat. I'm talking about spiritually, energetically, in financial terms specifically. But again, we're not all like that, but we can become more like that. We don't necessarily need an endless amount. We don't all need to be billionaires unless we have a true purpose for that. And then maybe we should. Maybe we should. If we have the real purpose to help the world, then perhaps we should all be billionaires, right? Not for self, aggrandizement. But again, that's a different level of discussion. Please remember, the secret here is to know, number one, that the ability, the potential to receive endlessly, or certainly more than I have now, is certainly available. Number two, how to do it is to, whenever I have, again, received that sustenance that came from my effort, my work, not to feel that I've received it, to appreciate whatever I was given. Again, that's a must. Appreciate what you were given, and at the same time, do not allow it to create an end. And the way we create ends is by becoming satisfied with what we've received in that moment. Always be hungry. All the best, guys. Be blessed. Remember where your head is at, because it's all happening here in the consciousness level. That's where we're at. And I will see you on the next video. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. All the best. All the best.